Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Suck it to me.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hal, I feel like this is an episode that everyone has been clamoring for, because when you think of you and I and our show and the topics we cover on this, the first thing that comes to mind is our fashion sense. Am I right?
2 plates over here.
That's
full
right.
buffet of fashion. I want to point something out.
What's that?
Some of you may have seen the title of this episode and been slightly confused.
Yeah.
Saying, what is this? Well, I'll tell you. I think some of our best episodes are the ones that look the most boring if you just look at the title. If you look and you go liquid soap versus foam soap versus bar soap, that sounds like the dumbest thing ever in a bad way. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But it's the dumbest thing ever in a good way. And shame on you for closing your mind to things just because they look like it's like watching C-SPAN, but with your ears.
That said, you did come up with this title for that very reason.
Yes.
You are shaming people for it, but it is understandable.
I'm making sure they learn the lesson we're trying to teach them. Instead of going, you tricked me, you 2 Lokis. Well, we're doing it with a purpose so that when you look at the list of episodes on this show, skip nothing.
Well, look, why didn't we what would you have used as the title for liquid soap versus bar soap versus foam soap, which foam soap I still get angry at the notion that we even included that on the list so many years ago. Foam soap is garbage. I know how to make soap foamy.
I would have called, I have foam soap in the bathroom right now. I'll show you.
You just have to lather it. That's how you make it foamy.
My hands smell like apples right now. I would have called that one, hey, get $100 if you listen to this. And then they would have listened to it. But I would have said right above, the $100 is in entertainment value.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Because, if you had a full car of people, who would buy tickets otherwise to come see us perform live, that's $100 worth of value right there.
Hey, I had an idea, by the way.
What's that?
This is not to be cut out. We were talking about doing a live show for our 500th, but we realized we were getting too close to the recording of it. We'll be recording it soon. You will hear this before you hear that episode. But next year is our 10th anniversary as a show.
That we will be doing live.
We're going to do a live show, but I had an idea that it would be a live show at a theater. I think there's a really good small theater where we could do a show.
In Philly?
People locally can come see it, but also it will live stream so that people can watch it at home.
Ooh.
So you can get the live show experience without us feeling like we have to go to Largo or a larger venue that might be a little bit more difficult to fill. Instead, do something a little more intimate, but then have it available for everyone to see online.
Well, this is exciting. Did you think of do you know what venue it is? Do you have the date set? This is the first time hearing of this.
I know the venue.
Brainstorming it with our audience listening to this part.
Oh, I know the venue. I can't remember the name of it, but I will find it. I know, I can get the name of it. It's not hard.
Why did you start this section with "Don't cut this out"?
Because I wanted to make sure you were don't talk about it. We are going to do a live show in 2025. It is going to happen. So start booking your
more than
travel.
one, in fact.
Yeah, there are going to be plenty of opportunities to see us live in the coming year.
Yeah.
The anniversary is going to be a big one. But for now, the actual episode you're going to listen to today is a little ditty called Best Sock Length that was suggested.
Please stay put.
No, don't leave. No, it's too late. You're already so deep. They're so deep in right now. They're not going anywhere.
You're so deep in. You're put your foot all the way into a thigh high.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. The image that you found for this, which, I will share in the Facebook group and on Instagram where images live. It is so weird. Just it doesn't look like It doesn't look like a sock. What it looks like is somebody has dipped their toe in it. It looks like either like those things. It's like a glass leg, but you drink beer out of it and there's only a little bit left too. It's full all the way. Or you've painted yourself with bad tanner or it's wee-wee.
And it's the same image of a leg every time with just different levels where the sock goes. In fact, it looks much like something that we would create right around Max Fun Drive time, to determine how many new, boosting and upgrading members we were getting. It looks like the meter that we create annually for that.
So this
purpose.
will be the meter that we do this coming year.
I have a feeling this might be. Yeah. You know what?
Leg.
We don't want to just make enough money for no shows. We want a bunch of new members. We want a thigh high's worth of new members.
We want to be Frankenfurter, okay?
That's right.
Not a sprinter. They don't wear any
You ever
socks.
worn thigh highs, Hal?
No, I've not. Not out of any reason other than, like, I've always traditionally, especially when I was less healthy, and especially when I was diabetic, like it would just cut off the circulation, like any socks I wore. So the higher up you go, just the less comfortable they were.
Oh, yeah.
But now I
guess if the elastic has to be able to hold.
It's too hot.
Going a thigh high is too hot for you?
Yeah, too hot. But back then it would have been too painful.
Too constricting with the,
yeah.
Sure. You gotta have a lot of elastic up there. I wore thigh highs when I played Cinderella's stepsister last year in that show. That was the tights that I was wearing. Multiple occasions I've had to wear thigh high tights. And the problem with those, or thigh high socks, I guess. The problem with those is either the elastic is too tight or the elastic has worn out and they're going to fall. Those are the two settings.
Yeah.
Like comfortable elastic level, I don't think happens once you get above the knee. And I realize that this is two dudes talking about thigh highs, two dudes who dress in more conservative ways. Then maybe we ought to. Maybe we should start wearing some thigh highs, Hal.
I mean, I have nothing against them existing. Just for me, as has been well established just by you using your eyeballs, I dress for comfort above everything else.
Yeah.
Like it's very important to me to be comfortable. And since I've been married, I felt less of a need to impress anybody else.
Fantastic.
Like I will dress up for Jennifer. I like to, I'll dress up. Got a new suit recently, and that was really nice to be dressed up and for us to go out together. But outside of that, yesterday, this is a true story. 2 nights ago, we were having dinner. I mean, we made dinner. We're sitting down and eating. Jennifer's like, I'm sorry. I want you to be comfortable. And, I want you to feel like you can do whatever you want at home. But can you please put a shirt on while we're eating dinner? Just for the sake of like, you wear a shirt at the dinner table. Not like she didn't like what she saw. She's like, can you please put a shirt on at the dinner table? Just because that's what human beings do.
Yeah. We're welcome to restaurant bare minimum.
Nice we're having a nice dinner and I'm there. I might as well just put on a barrel and sat down for dinner. Thanks for making this. This looks great.
Well, I would, in talking about thigh highs, I guess we're just going to work our way down. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. Before we do that, though, I want to figure out what are our criteria for this? What are we going to look at? Are we saying the best sock lengths for us, or are we saying the best sock lengths for all people for all time, which is what we've been doing for 499 episodes? This is for all people for all time, Hal.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing. And we recognize, maybe it's important to put a little disclaimer in here. We recognize that there are certain outfits that people wear that require no socks or require certain, like if you are a formal event and you are wearing a dress, you will often not wear socks with it. Sometimes you will, sometimes it can be part of the ensemble. So we recognize whatever we pick the best length to be will be more a matter of form. And it will be more a matter of like form and function a little bit, but like there's no one sock that's right for everything. Like if you play soccer, you can't wear no-shows or quarter socks. You have to wear knee highs because they cover your shin guards.
Right. But that said, we do have to pick the number one best sock should all others be eliminated.
Well, length. Yes. Best sock length.
Yeah. Best sock length. Yeah. And I got to say, I do love visually a thigh high. Not on myself. The elastic thing is not so comfy. I don't like the function of a thigh high on myself, but I do like the form of a thigh high. Thigh high can be a very sexy sock.
It can be, but I also think of them more as tights. At that point, they're not socks anymore. That's like a tights thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nobody's like, let me see the woolen edges of your socks. I love.
I think in some Victorian book that was probably written into a letter with a quill.
The frilled ruffles of your woolen prisons must be opened so that your feet and legs may run free. Sir Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, listen, Quentin Tarantino, if we had him on as a guest for this episode, we know what the answer would be. No socks, no shoes. Close-ups. All right, let's work our way down. Let's work our way down to the knee-high. A knee-high sock seems, as long as it's on the other side hinge joint. That's the word I'm looking for. What do you call body hinges?
Your leg hinge. No, you got it right.
Your leg hinge. Sure.
Yeah.
Leg
hinge. Leg hinge. It bends and lets you squat. The leg hinge. You've got another one by your foot. Foot hinge. Sorry, go ahead.
We just got, by the way, following that 100-degree week.
Yeah.
We just got our air conditioner replaced with a new one, which Annie referred to, and now I will always refer to it as our air fridge. Referring to an air conditioner as an air fridge, delightful. So we did just get a new air fridge, so I can sit here at my desk with my leg hinges bent and be perfectly comfortable.
So nice.
Yeah, the knee high, I don't think the knee high is going to win, even though it is below the leg hinge, which makes it, gives you a little more mobility than a thigh high.
Knee highs had a real moment in the 60s, 70s, and 80s when we were kids. Mm-hmm. Those ringer socks with the rings.
I do like a ringer
almost
sock.
Knee high. That was a look. It's also very much feels like a school uniform for no matter either side of it. Like the knee high socks are kind of part of the uniform, whether you are wearing a skirt to school or whether you are wearing the shorts and the little sweater vest to school, whatever it is you might wear. Knee high socks are generally part of that. I don't have anything against them, but when I see them, it feels like, oh, I'm doing a look based on, this is based on a school, strict school outfit look.
You're doing some sort of throwback.
Right.
You're doing some sort of fashion throwback for yourself. It is, as all clothing is, some sort of costume. I reckon if you're wearing knee highs, whether you are throwing back to an earlier age, whether it is your time in school, unless you're talking about somebody who is currently in school and it's part of their uniform. You're throwing back to when it was either your school uniform or, you happened to grow up in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, or you just saw Dazed and Confused and liked the look that everybody had with the short, roll. I always think of that look as short shorts, knee-high socks with the ringers, and roller skates. That's such the quintessential grainy photo of Southern California, where it's that Ektachrome photo. You know what I mean? That's what the knee-high ringer socks are.
I want to address something you just said that may have been, maybe for some people is hidden in there, or maybe like me, they perked up and latched onto it, which is thinking of all outfits as costumes. And my question for you is, when you are deciding what to wear for a day, do you look at it that way? Which Mark am I today? What facet of myself am I going to share with the world? Do you look at it like that?
I do actually. I was thinking about this earlier, about the notion of, and we'll get to this more when we talk about ankle socks versus crew socks and how that is. I was like, yeah, you know what? I grew up wearing crew socks. Because when I was a kid, that was what was in style. It wasn't ankle socks when I was really little. And then as I got into high school, it was ankle socks. And then beyond that, and then now crew socks are back around. And I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if that's part of my costume anymore because and we'll get to this. It's the dress your age. You know what I mean? And crew socks are so distinctly in all of my video watching this afternoon and deep dives into the fashion world, it's almost across the board. Millennials wear no-show or ankle socks. and Gen Z wears crew socks. I'm of the Zennial age, so the tail end of Gen X, beginning of millennials. So I would err more on the side of ankle socks now. And I feel like if I put on a crew sock, if I'm wearing shorts and white crew socks, they can either, if you are a Gen Z person, they can make you look cool. If you are a 45-year-old person, they move you in the opposite, like whatever version of cool you were at, it moves you in the other direction. Is sort of what it feels like to me. You know what I mean?
Like trying too hard?
Like trying too hard. Yeah. Or I don't care. And I've always worn crew socks, which may be the correct version. I've never worn anything but crew socks. I wore them when I was a little kid and they were in style. I wore them throughout the entirety of them not being in style. And I'm wearing them again now that they are in style again. This is just, and that comes back to, I think, the notion of a costume. I think, yeah, clothes are a costume. I think it's which version of myself do I want to present to the world today? And I've tried on a bunch of different looks throughout the years. I went to a party last night where we were writing postcards for the election. So I was like, all right, I'm going to Steve Kornacki cosplay tonight. I'm going to wear a button-down shirt and some khaki pants. You know, feel like I'd like to feel like I am in the moment of what I am supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? If I'm going to go to a country and western bar, I'm not going to wear my biker jacket. You know what I mean? I'm going to dress for the room that I'm in. And yeah, it's an interesting thing. To me, I always have I have the clothes that I love. And those are the ones that right after I do laundry, that is the Mark Gagliardi costume. You know what I mean? And then it sort of dwindles from there. By the time I'm at my 9th batter and I don't go back to the top of the batting order, if I've batted my 9th batter, if I'm going from Andy Pages, if I haven't done laundry, I'm not going back to Shohei Ohtani. I'm dipping into the minor league players and seeing all right, who wants to get called up to the majors? I guess these jeans that are a little too tight or this shirt that's a little too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coming up for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. I want to be more fashionable than I am, I guess is my point.
I think you have a look. I think if you asked most people, they would say you have a style to you.
I would hope so.
You have a pretty blazer and jacket heavy repertoire. You're not afraid to put a jacket on over, and I don't mean like a coat. I mean like a sport jacket.
Yeah.
Blazer type stuff over a button down with jeans or I know the outfits you're talking about because I have known you and seen you in various states of formality over the years, all the way from going to sleep to wearing a tuxedo. Yeah.
That's right. We've shared a hotel room.
Yes.
So you've seen that. Yeah.
I feel like I work almost like a shock and awe because I underdress almost all the time.
Yeah.
And part of that is I just can't be bothered. I don't care what people think. If I'm going to the local deli to grab some food, I don't care if I've just worked out or whatever. I'll go there and dressed respectfully in that I'm not
wearing a shirt at dinner.
Correct. But I don't really dress to occasion. But then when I do wear something nice, it gets a lot of compliments. It's crazy impressive. So it would be, it's if I show up at a B-, it appears to be an A+. And that's not 100% by design. I'm not setting up these moments, but I know that when I put effort into stuff that it will be impressive because it's not what I look like all the time.
Do you enjoy that? Like you said, you don't care what people think. Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy that if the being impressive, you're B-, A+, you enjoy it when it happens?
Of course. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I mean, I don't care if people think something negative. I desperately crave positive attention all the time. All the time.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I see I'm of the school of if I'm going out into the world, if I'm at home, it's one thing. If I'm going out into the world, though, I'm working on the assumption that I could run into somebody I know at any point. And I desperately want everybody to think that I'm cool and fashionable. So if I'm leaving the apartment, I'm trying to put on a Mark Gagliardi costume. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, you succeed because everybody knows it's you.
Hey, that's true. Everybody knows. Actually, I tried to, it turns out it's not my costume that is how that works. I was walking out of, the hotel when we were in, Rome shooting, and I was all like in my own street clothes and like, which the people at the desk at the hotel don't know my style in my street clothes, but I had like, jacket on and mask and glasses and like all of the PPE that you could wear.
Right.
And as I was walking out, totally covered head to toe, hat, everything, the woman behind the counter said, "Bye, Mark." And I went, "How'd you know it was me?" And she went, "Oh, your walk. That walk."
Oh yeah. You have
and I was like, "Oh, that, what do you mean that walk?"
Yeah. You have
I
a
have
walk.
a walk.
Yeah, you do have a walk. You almost walk like old school Mickey Mouse, where it looks like you're walking over a horizon point. You have that kind of gait. You almost have that gait. I can't explain it. And it's not exactly like that. You're not like swinging your arms and kicking your feet out in front of you, but there is something to it. You do have a very distinct walk. And while you imagine that walk, I want you to rest your own leg hinges because we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to fit you with the perfect sock.
Ooh, I'm going to sit here and relax in this air fridge.
Yeah, enjoy the air fridge, rest your leg hinges, and we'll be right back.
Ego sum John Hodgman.
Et ego sum Janet Varney.
And we're the hosts of E Pluribus Motto, a podcast dedicated to exploring the mottos of every state in the Union.
Every episode, we will spotlight one state and discuss its official symbols, the motto, flowers, birds, beverages, songs, and even official state muffins.
Plus, we'll hear from guests whose lives have been inspired by the state's iconography and from residents who call that state home.
Bring some snacks, a map, and your travel journal because this podcast is a virtual journey like no other.
Audi nostrum e pluribus motto quae libet alia lunae de maximum fun.
And for the Latin challenged among you and us, listen to E Pluribus Motto every other Monday on Maximum Fun.
Since 2017, Maximum Film has had the same slogan.
The podcast that's not just a bunch of straight white guys.
Ooh, we've learned something over the years. Some people out there really do not like that slogan.
Listen, we love straight white guys.
Well, some of them.
But if there's one thing we can't change, it's who we are.
I'm Iffy, a comedian who was on strike last year in 2 different unions.
I'm Drea. I've been a producer and film festival programmer for decades.
And I'm Alonzo, a film critic who literally wrote the book on queer Hollywood.
You can listen to us talk movies and the movie biz every week on Maximum Film.
We may not be straight white guys, but we love movies, and we know what we're talking about.
Listen to Maximum Film on Maximum Fun or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, well, you do have a walk.
Main Street, USA.
It's like, I don't know. It's not exactly that walk.
Because my toes stick out.
Yeah, your feet pronate. Yeah,
my feet pronate. Because
you took ballet.
No, just because I don't know why it happens. I never took ballet.
Really?
That's just how I walk.
Because I didn't pronate as much until I took ballet, because that pronates your feet, because you're constantly pointing your feet out. Anyway.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about... Now that we've really only gone through 2, and they were the 2 that had the least amount of chance of winning.
Oh, I have 2 that have less of a chance of winning.
We've got some lower down socks now to talk about. So we've got everything. Here's what we have left. We have mid-calf, working our way down. Thigh high, knee high, we've talked about. We go mid-calf, crew, quarter, ankle, no-show. And this list has toe topper, which I'm not even gonna, that's not a thing that we wear. I'm sure that is for, people who wear high heels, just something to give you a little bit of cushion inside the shoe that you're wearing. But for our purposes, I think we're going to be going from the mid calf through the no show.
Yeah. Oh, I think we can actually eliminate the no show also. And I will tell you why.
Oh, 0% are we eliminating that? I think that is a finalist in the top 2.
Oh, I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because the no-show in particular, what's the first thing to go on the no-show?
What do you mean, what's the first thing to go?
The back goes. And then what does it do? As you're wearing it and walking throughout the day, when you're working those leg hinges, it creeps around, and all of a sudden, you're wearing a toe topper, the worst of socks.
I think you're thinking of, in looking at this right now, the no-shows that you are, the particular level of yellow that this leg is stained up through is showing a no-show kind of sock that I would eliminate, which is the one that is designed. It almost looks like a ballet flat.
Yes.
It's that. Yeah.
That's bad.
Those I am not a huge fan of. You can't even roll those. You can't roll those up And they have that little weird like rubber stopper on the back. I would eliminate that version of the no-show sock. The ones, and yeah, they slide directly to your toes every time.
So
the ones that you could wear with loafers or boat shoes and they would still be invisible. That barely coming up just curling around your toes. That is not the no-show that I'm talking about. The no-show that I'm talking about is just below ankle. It's just below your ankle. It covers your whole foot and goes up thoroughly over your heel. It is just designed to disappear and not show with sneakers or other shoes that come up just to your ankle. Those I think are an absolute contender. And I think the ankle sock we can eliminate because the ankle sock is just a failed version of the no-show sock. An ankle sock is ankle sock is the one where you can just see a little rim of sock around the top of around the opening of your shoe.
They're great. They're very comfortable. And when you have, so right now I'm wearing, what would you call these? I'm going to show you my leg. You tell me what you call these. All right, ready?
Yeah. Those would be, crew socks.
Those are crew? It looks like mid-calf to me. But yeah, all right. No, it's not making it up to my calf. That's true. It's a crew sock. But if I was wearing this with shorts, I would be pushing it down because I don't want to walk around with, to me, it's weird walking around with crew socks pulled up because I would look like every skater, like every dude from Southern California, black shirt, black shorts, black flat bill cap, Vans, but white socks, maybe black socks or white socks that are either mid-calf or crew and pulled all the way up.
And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier of dressing the right costume for yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the dressing your age, dressing your style, dressing the way that you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the version of crew sock that is back is, both version, like style wise, is both versions up high and with a little bit of scrunch down. I like the scrunch down. When I was a kid, I always did the scrunch down at the bottom, but the top part where the elastic is, I left at full strength. I want that strong elastic.
So it looked like lazy in the middle, like it was sagging from the middle. Am I understanding it right?
It looked, so imagine a 4 fingers grip of fully taut elastic at the top. And then any bunching would be down toward the bottom.
Yeah, that's weird.
By my ankle. But that's the thing where I grew up and in my particular age, that if you did it any other way, outcast from society.
What? It's very weird. Stepford sock community.
I went to a Catholic school. There were only like 2 or 3 things we could do to follow trends.
And you could have a little sock sag.
We could have you had to have the cool version of a sock sag. You didn't want to have the bad sock sag.
Just like Tony Hawk has.
Yeah.
Sock sag.
So that version of no-show socks we're getting rid of. The toe topper is garbage. Those ballet flats, no-show socks.
Bad. I do have a really good pair of no-shows. A really good pair that I got at Fleet Feet. Mm-hmm. I got running socks. And the good thing about them, the problem with no-shows a lot of times is when you wear them, if they don't go high enough on the back of your foot, like by your Achilles tendon or a little bit lower, that edge of the shoe, the edge of your sneaker is going to rub in. You're going to have to wear like a Band-Aid down there. But this has like a little tongue, like a little extra thick piece of fabric that comes out. A
little thick tab on the back.
Guards love wearing it. The only thing I don't like, and this is not a disqualifier, but when you run on a turf field, it collects all of it and then you're sitting there for 5 minutes picking turf off of your socks before you get in the car and bring that stuff home.
Yeah, that's no good. Issue. Yeah,
but that's to do with anything else.
Let's talk about the athletic nature of something. First of all, I want to go back a little bit. We have been answering these for us, but remember, we are answering this for all people for all time.
True.
So there is a world where that version of no-show sock has saved a lot of feet that wear heels and pumps and flats and other traditionally women's shoes that have that style to them. So I know that for a lot of people, that style of sock is invaluable.
Well, we said at the beginning of this that we're going to say the best sock overall. Yeah. That doesn't mean that there aren't certain times where a certain sock is needed to do the job. And you got to get the right sock for the right job. But we're picking overall, in general, the correct length. And let me ask you this.
Yeah. I've turned, by the way, on the ankle sock. You turned me around on the ankle sock because I got to thinking about the protective barrier it can create around the top of your shoe. So I would say aesthetically, for form purposes, the no-show sock is infinitely better. And the ankle sock that claims to be a no-show sock, which is a lot of ankle socks claim to be no-show socks. You're like, come on, man, you're not a no-show sock, you're an ankle sock. The benefit of that is that you get that little protective barrier. I will jump to the quarter sock, which is there to provide that same protective barrier if you are wearing expensive high tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or basketball shoes. It's just sitting here, Kurt, as I'm hearing you, I'm like, oh, I think I know what the answer to this is. But I'm not going to blurt it out, but I'll tell you, I can give you a school of thought that I'm developing. If that helps. I'm thinking of...
By the way, I think I know what the answer is for all of you who have that on your We Got This bingo card. This is roughly the point in the show when Hal usually says, I know what the answer is, but let's finish the episode.
I think we're both going to reach... I think you already have this locked in, I think.
Oh, no, I have no idea. I think it's a binary choice.
I think it's one of the two finalists. Here's my thought process. It needs to be a sock that will work with all sorts of pants. Like lengths of pants. If you are wearing long pants, it works. Mm-hmm. If you are wearing shorts, it works. And working with shorts doesn't mean it has to be pulled up to its full length. It can be pushed down. That's the thing. That's what makes it so versatile a sock. If you take a pair of ankle socks or even like a quarter sock, if you're wearing a suit or something where even if you're sitting and crossing your legs, you don't necessarily, like you want there to be a solid connection from pant to sock to shoe. You know what I mean? So you need something that has the length to cover that.
Right.
But also has the ability to, you can push a lot of these down. You're not going to push down a knee high or a mid calf. It's going to look like your leg is wearing
like you're wearing fur anklets.
Yeah, exactly. That's no good. It's leg warm. It looks like you're about to go on a Jane Fonda workout video. Does that date us enough? Guess what generation we are? I think that flexibility and versatility is going to be really important. And there are only a couple here that meet that. And really there's only one, I think. What's your binary? I'm curious.
Let me eliminate a couple more and get us to the binary based specifically on that. Because I think the ankle sock, because it shows just a little bit, does not work with dress shoes and long pants.
100%.
Yeah, I think that only works with shorts. And I guess we have the benefit of being in Southern California where we can spend most of the year wearing no-show socks. Right. The quarter is also another one that gets eliminated because when you're wearing pants, if you're wearing quarter socks, it just doesn't work. Either I don't want to see it or I want to see it completely covering your leg. I don't want to see both sock and leg if you're wearing long pants.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think, and mid calf is too much. You can't push it down with socks. I think it comes down to the proper no-show sock and the crew sock, which takes us to the battle of the millennial versus Gen Z crew socks versus no-show socks. The battle of, do you like the look of a suit with no socks? Or do you like the look of a suit with socks or jeans with no socks? I think it's strictly a fashion thing for that particular look. But I think if those two elements offset each other, whether or not you want to be able to see an ankle or not, whether you want to see a sock or not see a sock, that is a form choice. I want to throw one function argument in there.
Do it.
And that is the function argument of the athlete, because aside from runners who want the aerodynamics of not wearing socks of the no-show socks, this was from one of the things I was finding today was a foot doctor who was pointing out that the reason a lot of athletes now are wearing crew socks is sweat, and sweat travels down your body. Gravity sends sweat to your feet. And I have noticed this myself because, if you sweat down your leg, your sock is going to trap a lot of that sweat before it gets inside your shoe if you're wearing a crew sock. If you're not wearing a crew sock, if you're wearing an ankle sock or a no-show sock, which I'm frequently doing, you will get I'm not speaking from experience, you will get just enough moisture in the right sock. And if you're wearing a particular style of Nike sneaker, regardless of what you do, regardless of how you change your very distinct walk, regardless of whether you walk slowly or quickly, that little bit of moisture and whatever little air pocket there may be in there, in that particular ankle sock and sneaker combo, will make that one shoe squeak on every single type of surface. Linoleum, the worst. But grass, you ever have a shoe squeak on grass, Hal?
No, because I'm not a children's birthday party clown.
Exactly. But apparently I am, because I got one pair of shoes and I bought new sneakers. I was like, oh, I liked this style when I had this style before. They're very comfortable on my feet. I put them on again and I brought those sneakers. And just yesterday I was walking and I heard and I thought, oh no, I've done it again. I've bought the sneakers that make my right foot squeak. So that is an argument. If we are looking for something to push the ankle or to push the crew sock over the no-show sock, that might be a purely technical, from a doctor, science-based, objective reason to pull that one. I would also argue that I don't own any pairs of novelty no-show socks, but boy, do I own a lot of pairs of novelty crew-length socks. Sure, there's more real estate on there to put the Tapatio guy.
Well, it's also like when you cross your legs, then they see something, they see like, there's always money in the banana stand written on your ankle up to your calf.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all of that, like, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee.
I gotta say though, if you're wearing novelty socks, unless they're just for you, I think you gotta go with something with a tight pattern. You know what I mean? Like a funny image in a tight pattern where there are a lot of them, because I have a lot of novelty socks that just look like weird abstract art or something else when I put them on, and then I put pants over them. I cross my leg wearing my Paintings from the Haunted Mansion socks, but all you really see is the dynamite at the bottom of that portrait. You know what I mean? Or the crocodile. Like you don't see the full image. So it does sometimes get lost.
You know who inspired me? Because I went through a time where I started going like, oh, my socks can have a little personality. They don't just have to color match to whatever I'm wearing. They can be more than like navy and black and white socks. You know who inspired me to do that?
Who's that?
Matt Gorley.
Matt Gorley has a great sock game.
He's a great dresser, killer sock game.
One of the best dressers I know.
Man, Matt really, like, similar to you, like, really has figured out, like, he is who he is and so comfortable in that, and he has fun, and he has fun with the socks.
I wish I had that level of it. I want to be that. Yeah. He has fun with his socks. He has fun with all of his clothes choices. He's a great dresser.
And well-dressed, like a well-appointed person.
Yeah. We really should have gotten a guest for this episode. We are the blind leading the blind here, I think.
Hey, I'm not the one creating that sag sack in my socks when I was a kid. We either pulled him up or pushed him all the way down.
No, I would push him all the way down, and then I would just pull up the top of him.
Yeah, no.
Because I wanted that little bit of elastic there.
It looked like an upside-down chef's hat. A toque. It's not, no. We don't do that. We don't do that anymore. We're adults now. You're too well. Look how cleaned up you are. Your hair looks good. You shaved in the last day or two.
I did shave a couple of days ago. My hair looks bonkers right now because I'm out of my usual stuff that I put in my hair.
It looks good.
So I got out of the shower and I was like, I'm just going to spray the heck out of it with some hairspray.
It looks good.
Hey, thanks, bud.
Yeah, look at you. But I think for this reason, I think a crew sock can do the work of an ankle sock. An ankle sock cannot do the work of a crew sock.
Yeah, I think there are applications for both.
Yes.
I think in Southern California, the no-show sock I'm going to switch out from saying ankle sock to saying no show so that we're not getting the ones that have that little ring of cloth that is visible, which is what I wind up wearing a lot. But I would like to have less show in my socks. But I think you're right. Like being in Southern California, there are a lot more opportunities for us to wear a suit with no socks or the appearance of no socks or jeans in the appearance of no socks. But if you're in Philadelphia or Chicago or Montreal and it's winter time, I ain't wearing the ankle socks or the no-show socks. I'm going for a crew sock.
I feel like a lot of times when I see somebody wear a suit and they're not wearing socks, and I don't know them, I assume either they will try to sell me an NFT or crypto, or they are an Ultimate Fighter and they're like waiting for someone to say something about them not wearing socks. Like it's like a look like, oh, I've got this John Varvatos custom suit and then I'm wearing my shoes with no socks, and try and say something about it. I will cock back and bend my leg hinge and then snap you in the face.
Yeah, I think there is
night night.
There is a finite number of people who can pull off the I'm wearing a suit with no socks.
True.
Also, here's a thing that I heard that I think is fun, and I never knew this before. For guys like me who are on the shorter side, when you're wearing socks and a suit, match your sock color to the fabric of your pants, not to the color of your shoes. So brown shoes, blue pants. If you're shorter, wear blue socks, not brown socks. Anyway,
yes,
just little things that I discovered I thought were fun.
I almost always match the sock to the above the foot, not the foot below.
Yeah. Unless you're wearing your novelty socks.
I just thought of a great Halloween costume for you.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Which is Wolverine, where you wear a Wolverine suit, but it's made out of wool. Or you dress as a sheep, but you have the claws. That's
pretty
for
good.
You. That's the one for you.
That's a good one. I like that. Why me specifically? Why don't you wear that one?
Because you like to, I don't dress up for Halloween, and you like to do like pun outfits.
I do like to mix up, I do like to.
That's an idea. I mean, the other one is Ben Vereen, where you dress up like you're in Zoobly Zoo, but you have the claws. Anyway, people of the world, the best sock is the crew sock, right? Isn't that the one? That's the one's just enough urine on your leg. Anyway, that is the sock. Not only is it the right height to wear with pants or to push down with shorts, but it's a really good one to do a sock puppet with. It's like just enough sock puppet.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about sock puppet
with that. I got you. I got you covered. You can do a fine sock puppet with a crew sock. It does the job. It is the workhorse sock. Kind of like the standard, like when I think of standard sock length, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
And that is what makes it sort of a sock of all seasons, the best sock length. Sock it to me? Yeah, that's right. The crew sock, asked and answered.
Real quick though, if you're going to be doing retelling of the movie Twins via sock puppets, I think you really need one knee high and one quarter. You need a Schwarzenegger and a DeVito. Other than that, crew is the correct size for sock puppets.
Remember that scene where they swing the socks over their shoulders so they can go walking down the street, and Arnold's sock goes right over Danny's head because he's so much taller than him.
Oh, it's so good. Well, thank you to Karen Mosteller Grantham for this topic, which is now closed. But there are many more topics to discuss, so please reach out. What was that? So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or
you can reach us on social media at We Got This Podcast, with the exception of Instagram, where we are at We Got This Show. And then, of course, the Facebook group, where you can share all your sock memories, bend your leg hinges, kick back, and have fun at facebook.com/group/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to our producer, Ken Plume, researcher, Kate McManus, graphic designer, Uri Kelman, and QA engineer, Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving us a chance every week to sit down, catch up, have fun, talk about the really important things in life. And to you, I would just like to say, I would love to use my hand hinges to beckon you over, and my arm hinges to hug you as big as I can, and my leg hinges to walk 1,000 miles with you because you are the reason that we do this show. We wouldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without you. So to you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows
supported
directly
by you.